Hey everybody, I hope you're having a fantastic day. I've got a package that feels like a bunch of AliExpress stuff bundled together. Now when I cut this up, there's a good chance my address is going to be just bursting out from all over inside this thing, but I'm going to cut it open and we'll see what we got. It could be a DigiKey order, I don't know. AliExpress has been doing this thing where they act like they actually use the word upgraded, that they upgraded to combined shipping, but the reality is the packages are arriving with the lowest common denominator. So they're taking forever to get there. I'm not getting my packages as I order them. They're waiting to ship out a bunch of them. And then, so it's kind of annoying, but we'll see what we got. All right, so these were crazy cheap. These were like $3 for a bunch of these dip sockets and stuff like that. I'm doing a lot more with chips, and the ability to socket them is kind of nice. And to order them off eBay or Amazon, they wind up being a lot more, but these were free shipping and wound up being about I think $2 something each, like $2.70 each. And unlike some of the other things I've gotten from AliExpress recently, these came in good shape. It was really smart that they put them together like this to protect some of the pins. These are not the round hole ones. These are the ones with the sort of the, I don't know, would you call them like slits? And they're not quite as good as the round hole ones, but for the price, I have a good variety now of these, and I couldn't really pass these up. There might be another one of these somewhere around. All right, next up we have this thing. This is a bag of stuff in bubble wrap. Might be time to change my blade. I was expecting this to be in a kit. They showed this in a box, I think, but instead what I got is just a crap ton of different styles of these surface mount momentary switches. So we have momentary contact switches. So we have the ones that can fit a little button on top. We have the ones that have an integrated button. We have more that have integrated buttons, and then we just have various lengths. So that you've got, I'll take a couple of them out of the package. I'm not in that big of a hurry today. Actually, it might not really do you a whole lot of good. So you've got these ones that have the real long necks on them. We have super teeny tiny surface mount ones, and I think this whole kit was like $3. Super teeny tiny tactile switches to mediums, and what the thought was, these are those ones that these come under a lot of the key remotes for key fobs and stuff. But what my thought was, they were free shipping and they were super cheap, and they're not going to take up any space. And my thought was that I would have just a really good variety of these tactile buttons. I had a fair amount of them, but this is one of those deals I couldn't really pass up at the time. So I got what I think is like 200 or something like that of these momentary contact buttons. So basically what I've been doing is I hadn't ordered from AliExpress in a long time, but then I started searching if there were kits that were free shipping and relatively cheap. I went ahead and grabbed a couple of them just to stock up a little bit. All right, next up, this one, my address is showing a couple different directions. So let's go like this. Split it open. Oh, I've been waiting for these. Goodness. Okay, I've waited for these for a long time. These took forever to get here. But these are, I believe they're male and female. Yep, these are male and female 9-pin DB9 male and female breakout connectors. And so the idea is that you can put them together and you can screw wires in the ends of these to make up custom cables and more prototyping cables. And the reason why I wanted these was I have some old computers. Like I've got an Apple IIc that I need to make a custom null modem cable for, and I could cut up existing cables that I have, but even some of that stuff, the instructions online are a little spotty. So what I wanted was the ability to, I'll cut the end off a MIDI cable and then I'll wire it up and just make sure it works. And then if I want to, at that point, I've got my pinout figured out and I can do a more permanent solution. So I got 8 of these little prototyping things in 9-pin male and female. What's nice about that is that I can do serial, and I can also do like EGA, CGA, and some of the various, like there's joystick connectors on the TI and the Atari and Commodore and things like that. So just a lot of different options of things that I can kind of prototype with these things. All right, let's grab another one. Feels heavy. Oh, yes. Okay, so these are EPROMs, or these aren't electrical erasable. They are, let's look at that. That is a 27C256B, which means that this is a UV erasable 256K EPROM, and it looks like there's 10 of them. And so I'm going to be playing around with some of the UV stuff to erase these things, but essentially these will allow me to put 256K onto this chip. And you would use this in a couple different areas. You'd use it in computer BIOS. You would use it in a something like one of those XT IDE cards. You can attach it to an Arduino to get an extra 256K of storage. There's all different kinds of things you can do with these, but they are ROMs, and the only way you're going to erase them is with UV light. So we'll be playing around with that. Maybe I'm going to see how good of a DIY one I can make. It's actually kind of amazing. I will say, considering how that was shipped, these things arrived in just excellent shape, which is kind of amazing. All right, we have something that flat feels like some kits. As I said, there's a theme of, oh, no, not kits, more chips. Oh, we got a lot of chips. Oh, we have a lot of chips. So these are, let's see if I can, I'm going to stand up so I can see in the camera with you guys. I'm guessing they're all the same, but we're going to take a quick look. These are, focus, 512, so that's 512K chips. And yep, 512. So 512 and 512. So these are 512K ROMs, which I don't know that I'll use a ton. But sometimes the bigger ROMs like this are cheaper, so I wound up getting some of those. So we'll see. I don't exactly know all the compatibility issues I'm going to run into, but I did want some of these that were in decent condition. I have a lot of them that were pulled and kind of damaged from old boards and stuff, but I did want some decent condition ones. Now these were sold to me as new, and I'm going to be verifying that in a future video. And last but not least, I think this is the one I paid a lot of money for. Uncharacteristic of the guy who gets basically anything for free Arduino related, I spent a fair amount of money on this. So let's open it up and see what we got. If it's what I think it is. I could be totally wrong. I've been wrong before. Okay, so this, I've been talking a lot about programming chips and just expanding my horizons beyond Arduino, and this is written in Chinese. And so as we open this up, oh, so this is a starter kit for programming other stuff. And to be honest, I have to remember exactly what it was that I was trying to program. So the idea behind this, I decided to go back and look it up. This is the HC6800 series microprocessors, and this thing is made for developing for them. And what my thought was is that I could just like buying the Elegoo Mega kit back in 2017 or whatever, changed my life. Just really opened up being able to use the Arduino type things. This thing, I wanted to give me a little bit of a heads up on programming these other chips. You can see we've got crystal here that's replaceable. We've got relays and buttons and speakers and digits and LED matrices and stuff like that. Have a 9-pin connector over here. It came with a programmer. And let's see what else is in the box. We have this. It's a lot of the stuff would be typical things that you would see in a in an Arduino kit. But it's all set up to interface. Oh, even like a little LCD. It's all set up to interface with, with this other chip. And so what I wanted to do was just expand my horizons a little bit. Most of the information on this chip is in Chinese, but I was able to find translations and people have updated it into English. So one thing I wanted to add about this board before I go too far is that it does have some logic chips like the 74HC595, and I guess there's another one in there and stuff like that. So these are kind of discrete logic chips. I don't know if they're AND gates or NOR gates or whatever kind of gates they are. There's a 165 over here. I don't know all the numbers off the top of my head, but these are the type of chips that I'm doing some basic circuit things on. So it's I'm trying to like go in my collection of random 7400 series chips and pull out a random one and learn what it does and understand what it does. And I may bring some of that to the channel if that interests you guys. But you know, I like the idea that this stuff is here and that there's example code of interacting with these gates and things like that. If this type of thing interests you, breaking out, going beyond Arduino into some of the other boards, let me know, and I'll probably be tinkering with this kind of as I have time. All of a sudden I've wound up with a ton of projects on my lap, so we'll see how much time I have to spend on something like this. But I'm pretty excited to branch out beyond just the Arduino, and you can see by all the various chips and things like that I'm getting, and the sockets to put those chips in, and you know, all the various things that I've been ordering lately, that's kind of a direction that I want to go. So anyway, let me know what interests you. I appreciate you guys watching the video, and have a great day.